Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to the lesson. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and go through all the playlists that you have done so far. You can go to the function playlist where you're gonna see other graphs that we've done so far. And then also please like and also comment and also share. And also if you've got any suggestion or any question that you want us to assist with, go to our Facebook page. It's Tutor Next on Facebook, and then you can send us a DM of any type of question that you want help with. So I'm going to go straight to today's lesson, where today I'll be talking about the straight line graph. And again, this will also help learners from grade 8 until grade 12. So without wasting any time, I'm going to go straight to the straight line graph. So first thing first, whenever you're dealing with the graphs, you must always have a typical form of the equation. The most type of equation that you're going to use for a straight line graph will be y is equals to mx plus c. So y is equals to mx plus c. It's mx plus c. So that's the equation of your straight line graph. So the first thing that you're going to ask yourself, what does m represent? So m represent what we call a gradient. So m represent what we call a gradient. So m represent what we call a gradient. And then c represent what we call the y-intercept. So c is the value where your graph will cut at y. So c is the y-intercept of your graph. So that's where your graph cuts at y. So wherever your graph cuts at y, that's your c value. So whenever they give you a graph which is straight line, wherever it cuts at c or at y-intercept, that's your c value. So that's what you must know with the straight line graph. The equation is y is equals to mx plus c, and then y and x are the same values as we did before. So if they were to give us a graph, let's just do an example. Let's say they give us a graph, and then the graph is cutting, let's say y at 2. So remember, first thing first, you must ask yourself, what is the c? C is to the y-intercept. Wherever the graph cuts at y, that you see. So basically the c of this graph will be 2. So whenever you have to find c of this graph, it will be 2. That will be the c of this graph, which will be 2. So there are two ways they're going to ask you in the exam. One, they can give us the equation, which can just be, let's say 2x plus 4 as our equation. 2x plus 4 as our equation. And then they can ask us from here onwards, draw the graph. They can ask us to draw the graph. So there are two ways in which you can draw the graph depending on the grade you are on. The first method that most learners at grades such as 8, 9 and 10 to draw the graph, mostly they always advise do a table. Mostly for us to draw the graph, we must do a table. So that table will have x values and also y values. So for this table, we can use our x values. We can start from let's start from -2 as our x values. Then let's have -1. And then let's have 0. Then let's have 1. And then also 2 as your x values. Then we'll just cut there. Then you're gonna cut there and also cut there. Those are your x values now. So the first thing that you must always do to get the corresponding y value. So you come to your equation. So to find the first corresponding y value for -2, where you see x, you're gonna put -2. So therefore, to solve the first one, wherever we see x, we're gonna put -2. So it will be 2, and then x is -2, and then plus 4. That will be the corresponding y value, which will be -4 plus 4. That will be 0. So the y value for this one will be 0. Then we continue with the same method To get the second y value, where you see x now, because it's negative 1x, I'm going to put negative 1 with this x, then plus 4, ne? And then this will be negative 2 plus 4, which will be 2, ne? Then we continue, where you see x, I'm going to put 0, and then this will be plus 4. So the answer, if you do this in calculator, 2 times 0 plus 4, the answer will be 4, ne? 2 times 0 plus 4, and the answer will be 4, ne? Sorry for just zoom this out. So 2 times 0 plus 4, the answer will be 4, ne? So this will be 4, and then continue and continue. Also for 1, where you see x, you're going to put 1, so it will be 2 times 1 plus 4, that will be 6, ne? And then the last one will be where this x, we're going to put 2, so it will be 2 times 2 plus 4, that will be 6. So not 6, that will be 8. That will be 8 there, as your last value. So now you've got the values, which is x and y, meaning you must go and plot them on the graph. So I'm going to put my graph this side so that we can go and plot all those values as they are. So remember, x, we are starting from negative 2, and then we go to negative 1, and then we're going to go to 1 and 2. As our x values, remember, this side is x, and then the other side is y axis. So now let's get the corresponding y values. We can start with 2, for example, and the good thing is that you guys will be given the graph paper in the exam, which will be more accurate than this. Then you're going to have 6 there, then you're going to have 6 there, and then you have 8 somewhere there. So okay, so the first plot that you're going to do, remember, is negative 2 and 0. So this will be the point. That's negative 2 and 0, that will be the point. Second one will be negative 1 and 2, which will be your point there, and then 0 and 4, that will be your point, and then next one 1 and 6. So you start from x, which is 1, then you go to y, which is 1 and 6, then you go from 2 and 8, that will be your 2 and 8. So basically our graph will be a lovely straight line. This one won't be accurate because I am not using nice graph, but your graph will look like that. It will be cutting C. Remember, it cut C where it's 4, so the graph must cut the y at 4, and mine is not even doing that. So it will cut C at 4. Just want to zoom that out because I can see that it's supposed to cut C at 4. So I'll just erase this part from here onwards because the graph must cut C at 4. The graph needs to cut C at 4. Okay, let me just put those values back. Just put those values back. So remember, we had 6, and then we had 4 there. We had 4 there. So the point will be there. So my graph will cut 4 there, and it will just continue like that. So it must cut at C. That will be the y-intercept. So that will be another way to draw the graph. When they give us the equation, then they ask us to draw the graph. So that will be the equation. So for those ones who are doing grade 11 and from grade 10 to grade 12, the second way you can draw the graph is to get the intercepts. Meaning you can get your x, just go to the next page and show you guys how to get the x-intercept. So because you need to go and get the x-intercept of the same graph. So now, if we were to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept to draw the graph, so it will be x-intercept, and then this was for mostly those who are doing grade 10 and 12. So if you are doing lower grades, don't confuse yourself with the method. So x-intercept y must be 0. So I'll put a 0 there, and then my equation was 2x. Was 2x plus 4, for example. Depending on the accuracy of it, it was 2x plus 4. So that was 2x plus 4 as my equation. Meaning now I'm going to have 4 the other side, which will be minus 4, is equals to 2x. So meaning now my x-intercept here will be minus 2, because I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I'm divide everything by the coefficient of x, which is 2, divided by 2 as well, and then therefore x will be minus 2. X will be minus 2. That will be your x-intercept. And remember, where we have x, y must be 0. So it will be minus 2 and 0. as our intercept. So it'll be minus 2 and 0. So it'll be minus 2 and 0. So it will be minus 2 and 0. Minus 2 and 0 as your x-intercept. Then the y-intercept, x must be 0. So this will be y is equals to, wherever you see x, we're going to put a 0 there. So it'll just be 2, then 0, plus 4. Then this whole thing will give us 4. If you were to put in calculator 2 times 0 plus 4, will give us 4. So therefore, my y-intercept will be 4. The answer will be 4 for this one. So meaning, remember, x is 0. So the y-intercept will be 0 and 4. Will be 0 and 4. And then from here, you must go and draw the graph. So the graph, just plot those 2 points. So we know first thing first, when you plot the graph, the first value I'm having here, y, is 4. And then I'm having x as negative 2. So I'm just going to go and plot those 2 points. That's negative 2. Remember, my graph must be straight line. It will cut x there and then cut y there. That will be the shape of my graph. Don't forget to label it as x and also y. This is for grade 10 to 12. And then that's how the 2 ways you can draw the graph, depending on the equation given to us now. And then the last thing that we can do, let's say now they give us a graph. Let's say tomorrow they give you guys a graph, and then it's x here, and then it's y now. And then from the graph, let's say they give us a graph like this, that is going like that, and it's cutting there. And then here is, let's say it's negative 2 now. And then let's say they're giving us a point here. Let's just call it A. And then the other point, let's just call it B. So let's just say they give us the coordinates, and then they say A is 4 and 3, for example. Now let's say A is 4 and 3, for example. And then B is 4 and 3, for example. And then let's say A is negative 3 and negative 2 as your coordinate. And then now, if they ask us to find the equation of this straight line graph in this format, for example, would they always say find the equation of the graph in y is equals to mx plus c format? If they want you to find the graph in mx plus c format. So first thing first that you must always know is to find the current. The current is that m that we know there. So there's a formula to find the current, which will be y2 minus y1. So it will be y2 minus y1. That will be our formula to find the current. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're just going to use 2 different points on the graph to find our current. So we've got A and B as your points. So those points will be our points to use now. So let's use B as number 2. So therefore, y2 is the y value of B now, which in this instance will be 3. And then the other one will be y value of A, which will be minus 2. Always put negative number in a bracket now, because it always avoids the complication of signs. And then remember, the x of B is 4. And then minus, again, it's a negative number. So we're going to put it as negative number. And then that's 3. Sorry, that's x2 is minus 3. That's fine. So this will be 3. That will be 3 plus 2. That will be 5. So my answer will be 5 over 7. So my current will be 5 over 7. So meaning I can easily fill up this equation. So remember, the format will be y is equals to m. What is m? M we know now it's 5 over 7. And then we must go and put the x as it is. And then remember, C is where the graph cuts at y-intercept. My graph here is cutting at negative 2. So therefore, C will be negative 2. If our values are accurate like that, that will be a quicker way to solve the type of equation. And then the good thing is that in the exam, they'll give you an accurate graph to work with. So yeah, that will be all with regard to this session. And then in the next session, I'm going to combine parabola and also our graph, which is the straight line graph. Thank you very much.